Hello, my name is Jonathan Young. I am here with Holden Clark, Jackson Howard, and Maxwell Nelson, and we are here to demonstrate and describe ethical moments of Nike, coupled with unethical moments that they have also portrayed as well, according to their worker compensation, gender equality, and their finances and their end-of-year statements. We are here to also discuss their public image and their internal organization based off of news articles, firsthand experience, and recent history that they've had over the last 30 years. We aim to shed light on these things and to elaborate more on where they are going right and where they are going wrong, and provide a deeper analysis to how that we believe they should run, and point out areas of discrepancy that not everyone will know, but with our enhanced skills in the managing department, we have learned to identify these key indicators. And now we'd like to hear from Jackson Howard, who will dive deeper into Nike's public relations. Jackson?
Thank you, Johnny. So diving a little bit deeper into Nike's public relations, we see that Nike uses many platforms and services to connect within their customers and the public. Many of these services fall under the umbrella of digital media, and the primary platforms that they seem to use are Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. They put a heavy emphasis on following people's personal stories, typically Nike-sponsored athletes, and how they've overcome a personal struggle within their life. They really like to emphasize the perseverance involved with overcoming challenges in order to build a stable thought through the public that Nike is there to help overcome challenges, not just sell them clothing. They also have an ongoing theme of uplifting women and equality within their social media and their public relations. They emphasize very heavily on going green, and they make sure to post any efforts that they have made towards doing such as building a new line of shoes using soles from old shoes. And now to talk a little bit deeper about the internals of the organization is Max.
Thanks, Jackson. When looking at the internals of Nike Corp., there are some major discrepancies to their image that is presented to the public. Since the 70s, Nike has dealt with public issues relating to unfair labor. Many of these have been amended, but issues have continued to grow today. One of the most widespread issues that Nike faces internally is not paying its employees and laborers livable wages. This was recently exposed to the public by the Clean Clothes campaign. This report examined the growth of Nike's wages in recent quarters and how this has not been reflected in their wages, which have remained stagnant. This is shown directly in the financial statements provided by Nike themselves and goes against their external image for mutual success. This relates directly to how Nike is subject to prospect theory. This means that Nike has a stronger aversion to loss than focusing on gains. Nike is reluctant to raise wages because they are avoiding financial loss. However, if they raised wages, more likely than not, this would add value to the firm, as employees would perform better and promote a healthier company image. On top of this, there have been numerous public lawsuits against Nike from former female employees that alleged Nike has policies that promote gender discrimination and a hostile work environment. Countless lawsuits have become public and are harming the company's public image. This is harmful inside and out and could make current employees feel like they are unsafe and unappreciated within the company. Now, to dive into a management synthesis, we have Holden Clark.
As mentioned earlier, Nike uses various media channels to promote a culture of success, equity, and sustainability. However, we see discrepancies to their image that is presented to the public. Nike still struggles to manage their employee and gender-related issues internally. The two-factor theory, also known as Herzberg's motivation hygiene theory, states that there are certain factors in the workplace that cause job satisfaction, while a separate set of factors cause dissatisfaction, all of which act independently of each other. So motivators can encourage employees to work harder, while hygiene factors won't encourage employees to work harder, but will cause them to become unmotivated if they are not present. While Nike portrays a public image of prestige, success, equity, and fair treatment, their internal actions go against their core values. Allison Felix is an American track and field athlete who specialized in the 200-meter sprint from 2003 to 2013 and raced the 400-meter sprint later in her career. Planning to start a family in 2018, Felix asked Nike for written financial security in case her performance declined while recovering from childbirth. In a New York Times article, Felix said this: "Negotiations were not going well. Despite all my victories, Nike wanted to pay me 70% less than before. If that's what they think I'm worth now, I accept that. But what I'm not willing to accept is the enduring status quo around maternity. I asked Nike to contractually guarantee that I wouldn't be punished if I didn't perform at my best in the months surrounding childbirth. I wanted to set a new standard. If I, one of Nike's most widely marketed athletes, couldn't secure these protections, who could? Nike declined, and we've been at a standstill ever since." Felix eventually left Nike for a brand deal with Gap, and then later started her own footwear company called Seiche. This shows that a failure to maintain hygiene factors like competitive wages and employee benefits will lead to job dissatisfaction and cause employees, and in this case, athletes, to be unmotivated and leave the firm. As Max mentioned earlier, despite increased revenue, Nike is slow to compensate employees and athletes fairly. This account with Alice and Felix is evidence of the need to meet employee hygiene factors.
Thank you all, especially a quick thank you to Holden, Jackson, and Max for their in-depth analysis of Nike and their corporation. In conclusion, like I said, Nike's had a positive and a negative track record with its ethics and practices over the recent years. And though Nike can't please everyone in their business, there are large areas where they can indeed improve. We know that through various treatment of athletes and various financial statements that there is some discrepancies and that there are areas where they can be better. And we would just like to encourage Nike to be more integral and have more integrity with displaying those to the general public. Thank you.